Hi, everybody. Welcome to the ACHAhockey.org and welcome to our continuing series as we profile the players and the coaches of the year. And right now, I'd like to introduce to you our ACHA Men's Division II Player of the Year from the University of Mary, the Marauders, Zach Garrett. Zach, congratulations. Welcome.
Thanks for having me, Lou, and thank you for the throw out on the award that I won this year. So,
Oh, heck yeah. It's an award, well deserved. Zach, you've had quite a run over the last few years, culminating with the national championship this year. Had to be exciting. We'll get to that in a moment. First, I just wanted to talk a little bit about that run. And I am very impressed with what you guys, your team and yourself have done. You started out with your first year with University of Mary, you knew that you were not going to be eligible for postseason play, yet you guys had such a great record. How did you stay motivated through that, knowing that you really couldn't do anything at the end of the year?
yeah, so like looking back at the first year, I just think that we had a good group of guys and we got along really well. And I don't know if there wasn't that, like you said, there was no motivation at the end of the season for like a championship or anything, but just like having fun. We played a lot of games our first year, so it was kind of like the games were more resting than, we practiced every day too. So I think just, getting to know each other, and like most of the guys that first year were either from North Dakota. I think we had maybe 3 or 4 guys that weren't from North Dakota. So they had either played with each other or knew each other, but like the other guys getting to know each other. And that year we really bonded. And since then, I mean, it's just grown into something special, especially this year. So.
Well, absolutely. And then of course, you guys went into the following year last year, and we all know what happened at the end, but another great run. And again, I hate to keep belaboring the fact, but that motivation factor, another kick in the guts for you guys right at the end when you got the #1 ranking, pretty much #1 all year, and then they pulled the rug from right underneath your feet. Talk a little bit about that. How hard was that for you and your team? And then how long did it take for you to put it behind you and get ready for this coming year?
Yeah, I mean, it was really tough. I mean, I think we had 4 or 5 guys that were seniors that had been here since the beginning, the first year. So it was really tough to, sit down and talk to them afterwards, or even just like hearing that, we weren't going. Like everybody kind of expected that, I guess, that day. But just hearing it and stuff, it kind of, it didn't sink in right away until you heard it. And then I think it's probably like middle of the summer when I was at home, I kind of like was talking to the other guys that weren't going to be coming back and the guys that were coming back, and you get excited again since not playing for a couple months. And I think that was when hoping that this year we'd get a chance to go and at least compete and give ourselves another chance to do something special. And of course we ended up having a really good season and had a great run at the tournament, and just had a bunch of great guys come into our freshman group this year. Was great to have too. So it's just been unreal, just the group of guys that we've had the last 3 years, and hoping next year's similar to that, having a decent group of guys returning next year too. So should be fun.
Let's talk about the national tournament. You guys went into pool play for the nationals, and I got to ask you, I was excited for you guys. I really had a special place in that because you'd waited, in a sense, 3 years to be able to experience it. And you finally knew you were going, and the tournament was there. How difficult, number one, was it to sleep the night before your first game? And were you nervous at all right before puck drop, knowing that all that effort you had culminated into this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you've seen the videos of our student section and our crowd that we ended up having for not only just the first game, but throughout the whole weekend and a week, I guess. So I think the night before, obviously, it was, you couldn't really sleep. You were pretty excited, but right before the drop of the puck and even for warm-ups too, it was something special. And those are the things that you'll remember.
Yeah.
Plus the guys that you went through that with, right? So, yeah, it was something incredible for sure, being able to host. And like you said, we were the number 1 seed, so we had a really good chance. Everybody on our team thought we had, we believed in ourselves. Obviously, we were strong all year, and I think the games that we played against the other teams, they brought their best game against us. And the first couple minutes of every game was definitely nerve-wracking for both teams. I don't know if the other team had played with that much fans in the building for sure that year, but like maybe in general. So it's definitely different for sure. So.
And what stands out to me is, in one of these things, I tell everybody what I look for in a very good team that's had a great run. How do you handle adversity? And I believe you guys got down 1-0 in the second game of pool play, and it didn't seem to phase you. And to me, that's a mark of a good, disciplined team. But when they went ahead 1-0, I think it was Providence went ahead of you 1-0.
Yeah.
What did you say anything to each other, or just business as usual? And it didn't take long for you, but
Yeah. So I mean, you look at our record against Providence. They're one of the only teams. Well, they are the only Division II team to beat us in Bismarck or in Mandan, and then they beat us the last game of the season too before we played them in the national tournament. So I mean, when you go down 1-0, and it was definitely a different atmosphere. It was kind of a little bit more quiet in the stands, I could tell, and we just needed one, I think. And as soon as we got that one, we get rolling offensively, and our forecheck, we continue to turn over the puck, and we just build off of each other. And I don't know if it was one guy. I wouldn't say it was one guy. I think we just kind of kept rolling. There was nothing really need to be said. We just stayed positive and worked through it, and good things happened for us all year. So why don't just keep doing the same thing? So I think that's kind of how our strategies were.
It seemed to work great for you, as it got you into the semis, and you played Liberty. One of the things that stands out to me, not only in the Frozen Four, if you will, but the whole pool play, was your defense and your penalty kill. I think you guys they were 0 for 6 on the power play, if I'm not mistaken, and a lot of chances in the first couple of periods that you played the game long enough. Team gets a couple of goals, their confidence goes way up, and you yourself had 4 assists, I believe, in that semifinal game. But really impressed with that. Your penalty kill the whole tournament, Zach, really stood out to me.
Yeah, I think, I don't know if it was that game or the game before against North Carolina State, but we might have had just as many block shots as our goalie ended up having saves.
Wow.
And I mean, when you have a great goalie in Kyle Hayden, and you're blocking shots, it's going to be a very difficult night for not only the power play, but 5-on-5. And I think that was the best part of our team this year, is that we really dug in defensively and blocked shots, and we did it for each other. And we wanted our goalie to succeed as well. So we tried to limit those grade A scoring chances. And we just, like I said before, we just built off each other, and you'd see one guy lay out to block a shot. I mean, doesn't matter who it is. I think one of our penalty killers, he might have not have seen the ice as much, and every time he was out there, he blocked shots and he got in lanes and stuff, and that's what makes a good team. And I mean, all the guys on our team, they would do anything to win. So I think that was the biggest difference. So.
Zach, you guys went into the finals, and you won 2-0 against an Iowa State team you played before. Very, very tough team. They've really built that program. They're right up on top, just with along with you guys. And low scoring, a little more nerve wracking. I watched that game after the fact, and again, another one where you guys didn't let up. You held your poise and came out with a championship. How did it feel? Describe the moment right after the last, when the clock went to 0, and it just, you climbed and hit the top of the mountain.
Yeah. So I was probably one of the farthest guys away from the net. I had poke checked the puck out of the blue line, and it was from our blue line to the other blue line, the puck. And I remember looking at the linesman and going, grab the puck. I'm not skating all the way down there to grab it. And I just bolted the other way. And, you know, you grab the closest guy and just jump into the pile of players and then start hugging everybody. And, you know, you meet the one guy who, you know, you've built a big relationship with, and you give them a big hug and move on to the next guy to give them a big hug. And it was incredible, I think. So, and then to see the way that the fans stayed around the whole time during the ceremony of the trophy, and then every guy on our team skated the trophy around and stuff. It was incredible. I mean, you know, winning a championship doesn't happen often, but winning one at home, it was really special. So.
Well, and it culminated a great run for you. At 3 years, you were a captain all 3 years with the University of Mary, 177 points. An all-around game. You were right up there with game-winning goals, power play, shorthanded, jack of all trades. I know obviously winning the championship is probably the highlight of your career at University of Mary, but if there's any like one other time that sticks out that you're really going to remember the most.
Well, other than our first game,
okay,
I think one of our last games, our first year, was a outdoor game against Jamestown Division 1.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just a great experience playing outdoor on the outdoor rink. And it ended up snowing in the third period, and I believe that it was tied. So we changed ends. We ended up scoring late and winning that game. I believe it was 2-1 or 3-2. And it just, beating a Division 1 school, and I think we ended up tying that, but it was a great game, and it was so cool being out there in the outdoor game, and brought me back to being at home in Canada, and getting to do that with our first year program team. It was very special. So that was probably another thing that I would remember other than our first game. So
do you got a natural personal rivalry with Dakota College of Bottineau?
No, not really. It was pretty cool being able to play them again my first year, but I know I was asked if I knew anybody on their team, or if it kind of felt like being back home, and that's a very difficult rink to play in when you don't play there every game. So it's always cool to go back and see their coaches and friends that I built throughout the time that I was there, if it was students or staff. And yeah, I wouldn't say I have a rivalry with them at all, but playing any North Dakota team, it's kind of like you're going to go there for a day and drive back, and definitely a different atmosphere at their rink, just like playing in Mandan. So
it's one of the things that I've learned, I've gotten to know the coaches in your area in North Dakota, what a hockey rivalry you guys have with all the schools there. And it's it's exciting to watch from afar, and all the different teams that you played out there, and that's got to make for some great memories for you too.
Yeah, well, especially because this my fifth year traveling around in North Dakota, and you're right, there is a rivalry between all the teams, I'd say, but there also is a respect for one another. And I know a couple guys that we play Minot and Jamestown 4 times at least, and rooting for them at their D1 championship, or trying to watch their games and seeing how they do. And same with when Williston and Jamestown and Bottineau was here. We didn't get to play those teams, so it was kind of how are they doing against the other teams? Because we travel a fair amount to these other places to play, but they don't. So to see how they react to higher competition, or the championship, was cool to see as well. So.
And I just want to take a look at before you came to Bottineau and everything you played. I have to ask you, where's Carrot River and where's Flin Flon?
All right, so Flin Flon is right beside where I live. It's about a mile, just across the border is where I live, and they're border communities, but they're pretty much attached. Flin Flon Manitoba. I played there for a couple games. I was like an affiliated player when I was like 17, but I never played a game. And then I think it was 19. I ended up playing my first couple games at the end of the year. Started off the year there when I was 20, and ended up going back to Carrot River and playing 4 years there, and really enjoyed myself there. But that was about 3 hours southwest, I think. So
Okay.
yeah,
Being from Michigan, never heard of them, so I'd like to find
yeah.
out where these towns are. Head coach Dan Huntley, nice guy, but give me one of your funniest memories of him. Maybe something that he yells at you about and you just kind of roll your eyes, or maybe you guys kind of make fun of him or something. Give me a good memory of funny memory of Coach Huntley.
Huh. Well, I don't know. Yeah, like you said, he's a nice guy. Very truthful to his players, and throughout, like bringing guys in and stuff. He tells guys the way that it is, and I mean, I guess like once in a while at practice or whatever, he'll call us in and tell us to speed up, or maybe. And one time he ended up telling us to slow down the drill a little bit, and I remember looking at him and going to skate away, and I looked back and I said, Dan, are you talking, should I slow down? Because I'm not really a fast skater. Like, I kind of slow the game down already. And he looks at me and he goes, well, I guess you're right. You should probably just stay the same speed. I don't know if you can go any faster or slower. So, I mean, he's kind of truthworthy in that thing that, he tells it the way it is. So,
Well, you've had a heck of a run, Zach, and again, a well-deserved award for you being the Player of the Year at the University of Mary. Congratulations again. It's been fun watching your team the last few years, and continued success to you. And again, congratulations. Thanks for taking time out today.
yeah, thanks for having me, Lou.